Good evening. My name's Guillermo Lopez. This is what I do for fun. Hey everybody, it's my week 11 picks here. I only had 7 views last week, so for those of you 7 loyal people, God bless you. For everybody else, let's get back on board, huh? Got up to like 30 something views a few weeks ago. I hold you personally accountable. First game we have is Indianapolis 6-3 at Tennessee 4-5. Tennessee has a really tough defense. Which Andrew Luck's going to show up? Andrew Luck that I say a lot in these videos. Andrew Luck that had that had 4 turnovers last week, or the Andrew Luck before that led his team back to a big victory in the second half. I'm going to go with the Colts in this one. I think Andrew Luck's going to get out there and get him, mostly because I don't really believe in Ryan Fitzpatrick. And if you get a chance, Google Trent Richardson video. That should be fun for you. Next, we have the Jets 5-4 at the Buffalo Bills 3-7. I'm going to go with the Bills at home here. I keep picking them at home, mostly because I don't really like the Jets. I'm noticing in these picks. I don't like the Jets. I don't like Baltimore. I keep picking against those two teams. But if you follow the pattern of Jets, win-loss, 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 they're due for a loss. Atlanta 2-7 at Tampa Bay 1-8. Tampa Bay only scores about 16 points per game, which is funny because the Falcons give up about 28 points per game. I'm going to play the numbers here, and I'm going to go with Atlanta. I think that without a clear-cut running game, Mike Glennon doesn't really have enough tools to get out there, and I think that Matt Ryan has a little bit of pride that he's going to try to flex and throw all over the place against Tampa Bay. Next we have Detroit 6-3 at Pittsburgh 3-6. I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to take the Steelers. I think the Steelers will be able to attack Detroit in the air, and Detroit just seems like one of those teams where every time they take a step up, they take a step back, step up, a step back. So I think that they're due for an upset here. I'm going to take Pittsburgh at home. Next, we have Washington 3-6 at Philadelphia 5-5. Nick Foles seems to be the real deal. That offense is clicking. Riley Cooper out of nowhere is blowing things up and getting a lot of numbers. I do like the way Washington has played lately, but I'm going to take Philadelphia to get their first victory at home. That's pretty tough to believe. Next, we have Arizona 5-4 at Jacksonville 1-8. I think the Jacksonville victory last week against Tennessee was an aberration, and I'm going to go with Arizona. Arizona 5-4. I haven't really given them a lot of credit, but that defense is mighty tough. Carson Palmer starting to pick things up a little bit. Arizona is going to be a player in the NFC playoff picture. Next, we have Oakland 3-6 at Houston 2-7. Case Keenum, I think, is also the real deal. I don't even know if he's actually the real deal, but I think he's just inspired that Texan team. Texans statistically still have the number 1 ranked overall defense in the league, and Oakland dealing with injuries to McFadden and also to their quarterback Terrell Pryor. It's going to be another rough stretch for Oakland. Oakland look like they might do something here, but they just all of a sudden remember they're the Raiders and are probably going to lose the rest of the games for the rest of the season. Baltimore 4-5 at Cincinnati 5-4. I was this close to picking an upset, but then I realized that I don't like Baltimore and I'm not going to pick them. So we're going to take Cincinnati. I'm sorry, that's Chicago and Baltimore. Chicago is 5-4. Baltimore's 4-5. I'm still going to take Baltimore to lose. Josh McCown has that offense humming. Doesn't miss a beat with Jay Cutler out. So we're going to go ahead and go with Chicago, not Cincinnati, in that one. Next we have Cleveland 4-5 at Cincinnati 6-4. Here's another upset for you. I think I'm going to take Cincinnati in this game. I think Andy Dalton has been erratic most of the season. I think that he's kind of gotten away with a lot of things because Cincinnati has a really tough defense. But I think Cleveland's defense is okay too. I think Joe Hayden will probably be able to negate A.J. Green, and that won't leave much in the way of weapons for Andy Dalton. I like Jason Campbell and the Browns coming off the bye for the victory. Next, we have San Diego 4-5, traveling all the way to Miami 4-5. Miami has a tough pass defense. They should make things hard for Phillip Rivers and the San Diego Charger attack. But in light of everything that's still really going on over there, I just don't see how that team can focus. The offensive line is really rough for the Dolphins. I mean, think about it. This whole thing with the Incognito and Martin, you basically took away 2 starters there. So I'm going to go ahead and take San Diego in the victory. Next, we have Green Bay 5-4 at the New York Football Giants 3-6. I think a lot of people would pick the Giants in this game. They've won 3 games in a row. And then you have Green Bay now starting Scott Tilson, not really sure how to pronounce his name. But I'm going to take Green Bay for the victory. I think Eddie Lacy will be able to carve up that Giants secondary and their, the whole defense. And I think it's just Green Bay has a lot of moxie. I think they have a lot of pride, and I don't really believe in the football Giants. I'm going to take Green Bay in that game. Next, we have Minnesota 2-7 at Seattle 9-1. I'm not going to waste my breath. Seahawks. Next we have San Francisco 6-3 at New Orleans 7-2. I'm not going to waste my breath in like trying to say that it's going to be a game or give reasons why the Seahawks are going to win. I'm getting looks from our way. I'm just saying that Seattle, that's pretty much the sure thing game of the weekend. My love. Tiffany Lopez is a huge Seahawks fan. Y'all should know that. Okay. Next we have San Francisco 6-3 at New Orleans 7-2. San Francisco really had a chance last week against Carolina to kind of flex their muscles. Like I said before, they kind of playing a little bit of a rough week schedule here. The Saints have come out, and I mean, just what they did last week to the Dallas Cowboys, I really don't see any reason why they can't do that again at home against a San Francisco team that really doesn't have any offensive mojo, offensive power. Frank Gore has been solid and consistent, but you look at Kaepernick, his numbers aren't that great. Transitioning into some new wide receivers that have been out for a while. Vernon Davis is hurt. It's all bad news for the Niners there. I'll take New Orleans is who they're playing. Next we have Kansas City 9-0 at Denver 8-1. Highly anticipated game. I think even with Peyton Manning's rolled ankle, you realize that the Denver Broncos are scoring 41 points per game in the NFL. The next highest team is 29. That's just crazy. The Kansas City Chiefs have the number 1 ranked defense, but their offense is pretty suspect. You got Dwayne Bowe smoking a little bit of dope, getting popped for it earlier in the week. Of course, he'll start because he's a pampered athlete, and real life problems don't apply to those guys, I guess, unless your name is Sam Hurd. But anyways, back to the game. You got to go with offense in this one at home. Denver, Sunday night game. It's going to be live. Don't miss it. And then we have the Monday night football game. New England 7-2 at Carolina 6-3. Carolina has a really tough pass defense. They have five wins in a row now, and even though the Patriots are coming off the bye, a lot of their offensive weapons are getting healthy. Carolina has basically a 4-man rushing team. They have Stewart is back. D'Angelo Williams, Mike Tolbert scoring a bunch of touchdowns, and they also have Cam Newton as a running threat. Monday night at home. Tend to go for the home teams on Monday night, so I will take Carolina in that game. So recapping: Indianapolis, Buffalo, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Arizona, Houston, Chicago, Cleveland, San Diego, Green Bay, Seattle, New Orleans, Denver, Carolina. I honestly don't even know how well I did last week. I haven't tabulated the score. I did pretty good the week before. 2 weeks ago I was 10-3. The week before I was 6-6. I don't know what I did last week. I'm assuming that it's probably 9-5, 9-6 is where I've been all year. But that doesn't mean you should lose faith. Keep watching the videos. Thank you very much. Have a good night.